Welcome back to In Ohio Country today, and joining me now is Paul Everman, and Paul is the owner of JP Ag Sales and works with Spraytec, one of our sponsors on our television show. Paul, thanks for joining us.
Thank you, Dan, for having me.
Well, let's talk a little bit about your ag background. You come from a very small town in Mercer County. Let's talk about that.
Yeah, it's a small town at Cranberry Prairie. A lot of people know it, and some don't. But mom and dad raised 7 kids on that farm. In the late 50s, 60s, he started building chicken coops there, and we raised about 80,000 birds. And then in the late 70s, early 80s, brother and I decided to convert the chicken coops into a hog operation. And we raised 250 sows, feral to finish, and that was about 4,000 head of hogs on the place at any time. So, and then if you really remember those years, hog operation, the hog prices were, you practically give them away. So that was bad years. So I went out and got a job with a local manufacturer, a stamping outfit, as in maintenance. But through that time, I kept in the egg spectrum and done a lot of selling with fertilizers and kept products and services into the farmers' hands. So then it developed, after about 15 years, I decided to take a leap of faith with my wife and I and started this business. So it was it's been good. For the last 6 years I've been in this, back into this full time. I've got a lot of great suppliers, and one of my suppliers is globally owned, and it's 40 they're in 40 countries, and they service 500 million acres. And this is Spraytec, full-tech adjuvants and products like this. So,
let's talk a little bit more about Spraytec. I mean, obviously, it's a product of good quality because you wouldn't be selling it. It's a product that's seeing good results. So let's talk about. We've got a couple of product items in front of us. I'm sure that you handle more than that, but let's talk specifically about the products that you handle at JP Ag Sales.
I handle quite a bit. The full-tech adjuvant has been one of great sellers. It kind of sells itself, and it's a product. It's a complete adjuvant. I get on the farms, I start talking to the farmers. I'm not really trying to change their operation or trying to change anything they do, but I'm just adding products to the line to really to emphasize and increase their yields and the other products they're using. So that's what full-tech really does. Full-tech is an adjuvant that'll correct your pH levels. It'll, anti-drift, penetration, defoamers. If you guys are running any type of Liberty, it foams. So that right there, it'll take the foam completely out of the equation. So. And then along with the emulsifiers that keep everything in suspension, surfactants, and it's just one of those products that is a complete adjuvant. It's been a good seller.
You know, the big thing our farmers need is that return on their investment. So everything that they use, all those input costs, have to live up to their capability. They have to live up to their name and their use. And when you have a product like this that you can bring in to get more out of what you're already using, that's a great return on the investment for the farmer, right?
Yes, it is. And all my farmers that have been my first year farmer use, they've really, I guess I wanted to say the mixability on that, along with mixability and coverage, they're seeing a lot with it, and that's what they're really after. And then kind of hard eliminating other products just using full-tech adjuvant, and the return on investment has been just that alone. So,
And I think one of the cool things about a booth like this at Farm Science Review, you could see for yourself the advantages and the differences that the products at Spraytec make. I mean, it's something that I'm sure that you're willing to do and demonstrate for your customers as well, I bet, right?
And that's right, Dan. And that's all part of it. We have so many different lines of full-tech products. It gets into nutrients and the oils and just keeping that plant healthy throughout the whole season, and means a lot. So.
And again, you're getting an opportunity to actually see it and demonstrate it for customers out here. What are some of the testimonials? What are you hearing from some of your customers about the product?
Some of my testimonials, it's a mixability. It's great with other products and enhances a lot of your herbicides, and that's what it's a nice thing about it. It actually enhances other herbicides to work better, because it's eliminating some of the tie-ups in there. Defoamer, a lot of guys are saying that's some of the best. It's when you start looking at a droplet spectrum, you got very fine droplets and you got very coarse droplets. Full-tech, I actually take it and shove out the very fine and very coarse, shovel everything to the middle, so you got the best of both worlds as a good coverage and a good anti-drift, and that's what that really does. Because if you have the extra coarse droplets, that tendency hits the leaves and bounce off or shatter. So now you're getting the best coverage. So
yeah, and that's what it's all about, making sure that plant gets the nutrients it needs, especially when we have a planting season like 2024, right, Paul?
And that's right, with the drier weather and everything. We ran some Full-Tech Cube, and that's the other product you see right there. Full-Tech Cube has the copper in it, and it does nice with the fungicides. On its own, it's a 4-ounce rate. If you're going to run it with a fungicide, and then it's a 2.7 ounce rate. So the cost and the low rate is really practical to the farmer.
Yeah, and again, it all comes down to return on the investment, making sure that you're getting the quality that you need, but you're also getting the most out of whatever your input costs are. So before we let you go, let's talk a little bit more about JP Ag Sales, some of the other things that you do there.
Well, JP Ag Sales is out of Celina, Ohio, and I have a warehouse in Celina, and then also have a warehouse in Hillsdale, Michigan, and that place right there is covering quite a few customers, 175 customers at this point in time. And then as well, I have 9 distributors underneath of my JP Ag Sales. Farmers Alliance is one of them.
Yeah, Farmers Alliance, one of our fine sponsors on our TV show, our podcast, and YouTube channel. One of the other things I wanted to point out, too, if you watch our television show, obviously, and listen to our podcast, you might hear the Everman name a couple times, especially a guy named Dale. Let's talk about that relationship, Paul. He's laughing, all right.
Yeah. Dale's my nephew, and I grew up with these guys, and they're twins, Doug and Dale. But Dale is the vice president of Home Inc. And so good guys. They're I got to say it, they're my nephews. So
well, we had to get that little plug in there and kind of maybe answer some questions for our viewers and listeners out there. Hey, if people want more information about JP Ag Sales, Paul, where do they go?
They can call me at 419-852-2567, or if you want to email me, it's jpsalesheadstart@outlook.com.
And Paul, you'll do demonstrations for people out there that are interested in this product, right?
Yes. A lot of my farmers, when I first meet with them, I'll take some of their water samples, what they're mixing with their chemicals and their fertilizers or fungicides, and we'll do a demonstration with a Full-Tech adjuvant and show them how that pH is corrected. We can show them how the defoamer works, and we'll just go across the whole demonstration with them, and when they see it, they understand more so than anything at how that full-tech adjuvant really works. Yeah.
Paul Everman, one of the good guys in ag sales here in the Buckeye State, JP Ag Sales to be exact. Paul, thanks for joining us.
Thank you, Dan. Appreciate it.
And we'll be back with more in Ohio Country Today right after this.